Hello, my name is John Benjamin and this is Motion Graphics, and today I'm going to show you how to bring your character into After Effects and then how to add rigging. Alright, let's begin. Alright, so here we are in After Effects. Let's make a new composition. Alright, and then we're going to say File and Import File. And you're going to go ahead and find your character. So I've got character Norb in red shorts right here. And then I want to make sure that this is unchecked, Illustrator PDF EPS sequence, uncheck that. And then go ahead and say composition, retain layer sizes, and you can go ahead and select import. All right, and then what should happen here is you will have your character. Here's Norb, and here he is with all his different layers. And here, they're already separated out into a folder. Okay, just to point that out, everything's in that folder, and here's our character right here. Okay, so we're going to add some rigging to this. Now, I did notice one thing, that my black background is blending in with his watch. So if you want to change your background and you've forgotten how, you just go to composition settings, and then you can change your background. So I'm going to go ahead and just change it to white. Now, your background doesn't change anything in your final export. You'll need to add a colored background or different backgrounds to it. And everything's really separate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in, and we are going to reposition all the center points. Something we typically want to do anyhow before we get started. But you can click on an object, and we're going to want to move these center points. Like I'm going to move this one down to the bottom of the circle of his head. Now, if you haven't checked snapping, you want to go ahead and do that. And so that makes it a little easier. So if I click on the neck, I'm going to move that. I'm going to snap it right down to the bottom there. And the upper torso, I'm going to slide down to the bottom. And you don't have to do this. I think this just makes things a little easier. And that's right where I think the pelvis should be, right there in the crotch. Coming down to the thigh here, the upper leg. I'm going to move this right up to here. Make sure you've got the thigh. Great, move that center point up to the top there. For the lower leg, I'm going to slide it right up here to the knee. These are going to be our joints, if you will. For the feet, I like to go ahead and slide this anchor point for the foot back to the heel, and the anchor point for the toes up to the toes. You can do it different ways, though, but I just like to keep it simple for the tutorial. All right, and then the hand, same thing. I'm going to move the anchor point right up to the wrist. It's going to snap right there. The forearm right up to the elbow. And the upper arm right up to the shoulder. Again, you don't have to put them here, but those are just they snap really easily. You should have Duic Basil installed from the previous tutorial. Your layers plate right here, and go ahead and move this whole panel right up to here. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and select all my layers. So I'm just going to go ahead and select all, Control A. And here in my Duic Basil, I'm going to go ahead and open this up a little bit again. And I'm going to start with rigging. And I'm going to go ahead and go to Create Structures, and I'm going to create a humanoid. I think it's just a simple way to do it. You can do this with pins. There's many different ways you can do this. And so basically what's just happened is Duic Basil sort of tried to create a basic humanoid for me here. And you can see the arms that are already set here. And yours will look a little different. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of a bunch of these just by lasso selecting them. I really just want the green one, the head. So I'm going to even get rid of this calf. And okay, so now I've got my spine and my head and my neck and then each of my limbs. All right, so let's start with the head. And again, I want this, if I click on it, it tells me that that's the hips. And so I want this little anchor point here to match up with the anchor point that I've given. And it should just snap right on there. So you just I can click on my lower torso, just get an idea where I'm headed. And I'm going to click on this little pivot here, and I'm just going to drag it down there until it snaps right onto it. Click right there and go right up. And it snaps right on there. And this is the neck. Ooh, it's a little long. I'm going to bring that right to the top of or the bottom of the head, I should say. You can see there's the anchor point. So I'm going to bring this one in. Let me just make sure here again, this is spine 2, spine, pelvis. Okay, good. I'm going to do the same thing here with the arms. So bring this arm over here. All right, and we're going to do the same thing. I'll go ahead and speed this up so you don't have to watch me do all of them. But you just go ahead and you find your anchor point. Okay, back to my regular move tool, snap. And then here's the feet. So this part of the foot can go at the bottom, calf, and then this one can snap right there, and then the top here can snap at the end of the toes. And then the last one you want to do is the heel, and you can snap that with that anchor point. All right, now everything should be pretty well lined up. All right, cool. So now we're going to go have to parent all these manually. All right, and that's still a little bit of a challenge, but it's just a little tedious. So here I'm just going to go to toes right, and if you want, you can click like a typical parent and find it here, or you've got this little slingshot or whip. And so I'm going to go toes right, and I can just go right up here to toes right. That's why, again, the naming is really important. So foot right, toes left. It's going to go to toes. Foot left. It's going to go to foot. Forearm left. It's going to go forearm. Hand left. It's going to go to hand. Torso upper. I could have named that better, because now I'm not remembering which one it is. Spine 2 is torso upper. Okay. Yikes. All right, it's a little tricky. So let's go ahead and rotate that humerus there a little bit, and then we're going to rotate the forearm a little bit. It's going to bend that elbow just a little bit there. Okay, see here. And go ahead and rotate. All right, and like I've shown you before, if you hit Control A to select all, and then hit U 3 times. All right, and so now what I want to do is I've got all of these parented properly, hopefully, and I'm going to select them all the structures. And so now we're going to go ahead and hit Auto Rig, and then it's going to add like a sort of like a puppeteer to the structure. All right, and there's a lot of stuff here again. I'm going to click on one of these layers. I'm going to Control A, and then I'm going to hit U a few times and close it all up. Okay, so now we have controllers attached to our bones. So like here's a hand controller. So it's a little bit like a puppet. And here's a spine controller. And wiggle the spine a little bit there. All right, feet controllers. And then everything kind of moves together, so you're not animating everything independently. Okay, and then one of the most amazing things, which we'll do here in today's tutorial, is we'll do a walk cycle using Duik. So now the next part, I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to select Automations. And there's a whole bunch of automations. And what we're going to do is we're going to select all of our controllers. So Shift Select all the controllers, and hit Walk Cycle. And here's our little walk cycle controller right there. And if you just come up over here to play, there you go. Pretty amazing. You've got a nice little walk cycle, which would have taken you a long time, well, as we know from the previous tutorial. So there's two ways that we can animate characters, and one way is sort of manually with parenting and the pin tool, and this is with Duik Basel and the rigging. Okay, so I'm going to hit stop there. And so I want to show you then how to animate this and a few of the controls we have. So let's go over now to our effects controls, and we have here the walk cycle. And so you can animate a lot of different aspects of the walk cycle, including here if we come down to main properties, character, we can change the weight and the energy and the softness. In the walk cycle, we can also change the speed. Secondary controls, we can change how much the neck and the body and the feet move, and then there's a few other additional like head and neck rotation that we can add as well. So let's just take a look at a couple of these and see how they work. So let's go ahead and we'll hit play on the walk cycle, so let them play through. Come back to the effects controls, and I'm going to go ahead and increase the arm swing. All right, so he's got a much wider arm swing there. Oh, I forgot to link his face. I'll have to go back and do that. Its face is not parented with the head. Right, and then the walk cycle itself, we can change the speed, like the length of the stride, and then the energy. I can go ahead and kind of make the whole thing like more like whoa. And so there's all of these controls in here that we can change. Realistic to dancing is a good one. So now he's got kind of a little boop bebop dancing as he's walking. All right, so that's how you can control all of the different walk cycles. Then you can animate them as well, of course. Opening the project up again here. I'm going to go ahead and now drag my character composition onto Comp 1. And there he is, and his shorts are looking a little weird. And I'm just going to go ahead and play him through. So he's just walking on my background there, looking good. And so a couple of things that you can do now at this point. So you can have him walk across the screen, in which I would go ahead now and animate this. I would go ahead and start him off of the screen, and you can enter the stage, I should say. So right there, to begin with, I'm just going to go ahead and animate position. And then I'm going to go move up to 4 seconds here, add another keyframe, and I'm just going to move him right across. You can walk off the stage. All right, and then if we play that through, there he is walking across the stage, in and out. And you can kind of line up the timing so his feet aren't slipping and sliding. That's pretty close there, but not too bad. And I'm going to deselect and I'm going to draw a quick mountain range, or some hills, if you will, with my pen tool. And so just something really basic, I'm just going to go make some hills. And you probably typically want to draw these in Illustrator and then bring them in. But I just wanted to kind of show you how parallax can work. All right, I'm going to make sure that that shape is underneath Norb here. And then I'm going to go ahead and leave Norb where he is, but I'm going to go ahead and change the position, or animate the position of these mountains here. Okay. And they're just going to sort of move in this direction. That's going to be the end of them, so we'll stop right there. All right, and we'll play that through. And so Norb is in the same position, but then the land is scrolling behind him. All right, and that's how you can animate a character using rigging, and how you can animate a walk cycle using the Do It Puzzle rigging. So good luck, and wish you the best of success with this one. It's a little tricky. See you next time.